And welcome to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. I'm Gary Demas. Really glad to have everybody tuning in on this January 12th of 2020. So Steve is our sales director, and you also get out there in the trenches and talk to homeowners and help them with projects.
I sure do. I've been doing it for about 10 years now, and with Dave Fox, and 10 years before that. So It's been a great, love doing it.
Yep.
Just absolutely love doing it.
Fantastic. It's been a lot of fun. So today is the last day of the show down at the convention center. So that's been Friday, Saturday, and then today, Sunday, is the last day. So if you haven't made it down there, please go down there and park in the north parking lot, because the exhibit halls are in the north end of the convention center. And come down and see us. We got a nice booth down there.
It's a great booth.
Yep. There'll be a lot of remodelers and some other stuff there as well. I'm not sure what all is going to be there this year.
It's a great way to talk to people and actually learn more about the industry.
So last week I was talking to Jamie about the show. We gave everybody the rundown on it, and we were talking about how people can prepare for the show. So if you haven't been out there yet, today would be a good day to go out there. And you can, what I recommend is, if you're really thinking of a project, you can maybe see some of the remodelers that'll be down there, look on their websites, kind of do a little homework first, come out there and chat with people, and then come talk to us.
Right. It's perfect, because that way, if you're thinking about maybe a couple of different people and you want to get a good feel, because a lot of it has to do with feel, gives you an opportunity to say, hey, I like this company.
Yep. Because when you do remodeling, you are not buying a product, you're buying a service. And there's a big difference. And our service does involve a lot of products, but people are behind that, design ideas, installation methods and qualities, and there's just so much to it that is very personal.
That is. With
the people that are working on your project, the people that are designing it, all of that stuff goes together. So, Steve, today, first why don't you just talk a little bit about your background and what your responsibilities are here.
Well, as the sales director here at Dave Fox, I manage 7 other design consultants. Just brought another one because it's been so busy. Basically, I work with them from an engineering, structure, and the sales aspects of all the projects that they're working on. They're kind of their backup help for that. Mostly, I really work with them to help guide them through like a big job. If my background's in large expansions and additions, and I've been doing that for a long time. And some of the newer design consultants been doing it, but like some of them can get really complex with like architectural review and construction loans and things like that. And I help them get through that, them and their clients, because it's constantly evolving, especially with homeowner associations and things like that becoming very prevalent. And people are more interested in construction loans as ways to get stuff done in their house, and I help with a lot of that.
In this industry, things don't get more streamlined and efficient as time goes by. Instead, they get more complicated in terms of all of the engineering, the permitting, the homeowner associations, architectural reviews. So how about your background?
My background, I've lived in Columbus pretty much my whole life. Lived here, born, raised here, went to school in Michigan for a while and came back, went to Ohio State, architecture and engineering, had my own business for a good amount of time while I was in school. Really spent a little bit of time as a bartender, and that really was able to teach me a lot about a bartender and a waiter for a small period of time. That helped me, really taught me how to deal with people in different situations at different times. Really helped me with the sales industry, being able to handle people in lots of different emotions, all sitting down in front of you all at one time, and trying to put on a good smile and keep everyone happy. So that was something that I did, but then mostly, having my own business and doing that for a long time was a big deal. I got married here in Columbus. I got a wife and 4 beautiful children. Live up in the Dublin area, and but we used to live down in Clintonville, I've lived all over Columbus, so I know the area really well. From old homes, I lived down in German Village and the Short North, then up in Gahanna, and then Dublin, and then Clintonville for a short time. with my wife, and I love those homes. And then we moved up to Dublin. It's great.
Yep. Columbus is a great city. We love this city.
Love it here.
It's taking good care of us, and we try to do the same with all of our clients. Great. So here we are in 2020, and wasn't there a song written years ago about in the year? Oh, that was 2525.
All right.
Remember that song?
Yeah, I know.
We got a ways to go, I guess, before we get there.
A little bit more.
Yeah. But anyways, we're not on living on other planets yet.
No Jetson stuff yet.
No
floating vehicles.
No, but if Elon Musk gets a colony on Mars, then they're going to need some remodeling in some time or another, right?
Yes, well, I'll be on board.
Okay.
Well, at least my great-great-grandchildren will
handle
be.
the Mars, the Dave Fox Mars expedition?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's get back to reality here and back to planet Earth. So last year's been a great year for us. It's been really more sales than ever. We broke records.
Yes, we did.
People have been doing a lot of remodeling, and it never ceases to amaze me. I mean, there's just so much going on, and every time you think, well, things are going to let up, no, they don't. It just keeps going up and up.
It's getting busier and busier.
Yeah, and we love that. We love having a big backlog of work. We had the highest sales performance we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
We've got more people than we've ever had. We're outgrowing our building here, which happened a lot quicker than we expected.
Oh, yeah. Wish that wouldn't have happened.
So just a lot of things happening. So what does that say for 2020, Steve? What are your thoughts?
Well, I've put actually a lot of thought into 2020, with the economy just moving on all cylinders and, people feeling really comfortable with things. There hasn't been a big talk of a major bubble or any major issue as of right now. We are going to election year, so that can be kind of volatile, but I think people are comfortable with where the economy is, and I think that's allowing people to be comfortable about their investments and, even making some money with that. And people feel comfortable about spending some money because the outlook, that long forecast out there is good. It's not scary. And that's allowing people to feel comfortable about making using some of their expenses to do additions and kitchens and things like that on their home that they might have held back a few years ago, and now they just feel a lot better about it. So 2020, I think, is going to be, still an increase to some extent, but I think it'll level off a little bit as closer we get to the election. That might have some effect on it, but depending on how that goes, the economy could take off again or go down a little bit. So that always happens with every election. So.
Yeah, there's always going to be the ebb and flow, but I think what's been interesting is really if you go clear back to the Great Recession that we had, coming out of that, people's mindset changed, I think, about their home and about investing in their home. Because before that, they always looked at their home as this big investment deal, and they were careful not to over-improve because that's their investment. And instead of looking at it as their dwelling place, their castle, where they live their lives, it was more like, this is a piece of investment for me. But then when the recession hit and basically blew all the value out of homes, people realized we're living here because this is our family, this is our lifestyle, this is our home, and that means a lot to us. And I think I noticed that people were not so concerned about over-improving. Instead, they wanted the home to suit their needs and their lifestyle and their family, because that's where they live every single day. And I think that's kind of carried on through all these years since, the 2008 crisis. Even to today, people are, their home is their castle. It's where their family is. They want it to be nice. They want it to suit their needs. They want to feel comfortable there. They want to have a nice kitchen, a nice bathroom, a nice basement entertaining area. And they're just spending a lot of money on their homes.
More people are staying in their homes. They're out looking for staying in their homes is longer now. It used to be, I'm going to be here 5-6 years and cash out of my equity and go buy the next big house and do that again. But I think now people are more, I think I'm going to stay here a bit longer.
Yeah, that's right. Steve, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're listening to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. We're really glad to have all of you listening in. And if you listened last week, that was the first week of 2020, our new year. And I was talking to Jamie, our marketing director. So we were talking about how the radio show has been aired for 8 years. So I just said, Steve, to Jamie, I said, Jamie, if we have any listeners out there that have listened those 8 years, I want them to email us, and we're going to send them something special. So if you're listening today and you've been listening for these 8 years, not every single Sunday every year, but at least through those 8 years, we'd love to hear from you. And just shoot us an email at info@davefox.com, and we will send you something special. Jamie will put something together for you. So that's just FYI.
Hope to hear from you.
Yeah. All right. So, Steve, we're talking about really what's going to be happening in 2020 in terms of remodeling. What are people going to be doing to their homes? What are they going to be thinking about? Do you think there's going to be any different shifts? You know, it's how sometimes people, it's kind of funny how this business goes. It goes in cycles. And for a while, maybe people will be doing smaller projects, and then there will be a whole bunch of larger projects, and then there will be one particular kind of project. It's just funny how that goes, the ebb and flow. And I know the last couple of years, we've seen a number of really large projects.
Yeah, the large projects are increasing. I wouldn't say it's large expansions necessarily as much as whole house kind of redos, where, you know, people really were hesitant to do a lot of work on their homes, and just things kept piling up. Oh, this needs fixed, and and they just wanted to just finally decided, hey, we're just going to get it all done. So we've been doing a lot of whole house renovations, which can be very taxing on a homeowner, but they see value in getting it all done now and being able to enjoy it, especially while times are good. You know, let's get it done, get it all out of the way, and put it behind us going on into the future.
Yeah. So, do you see anything else for 2020?
Well, I see also homeowners spending, you know, they're really trying to focus more on the quality of stuff that they're putting in. They're really focusing on better products, better finishes, rather than making everything a lot bigger. Mostly it's saying, hey, if I'm putting in, say, a wine cellar, they're putting in a wine cellar, well, they're going to probably go a little bit of the extra mile to make it really, really nice. In the past, we were doing certain projects like that, and, you know, they were just being a little more modest with it. So I think people are getting a little more aggressive with things and trying to make, instead of really big, just really, really nice. You know, not necessarily a gigantic kitchen, but a really nice kitchen for the space that they have.
I agree. You know, if I look back across the span of the last 30 years in remodeling, some of the big changes I've seen have been really just the professionalism of remodeling, because many years ago, I mean, there was a lot of, you know, two guys in a pickup truck, and just the level of professionalism in the remodeling industry wasn't near what it is today. And today we've got, you know, firms like ours, really nice showrooms, very good designers, professional design and assistance along the way, good product knowledge. And as you mentioned, people, not only have the remodelers gotten more sophisticated and more professional, but people are looking for more sophisticated design today. And you know, the days seem to be gone of just kind of just doing a face over and just getting things looking a little nicer. Instead, people, they see so much stuff online, there's so much information available, they get ideas, and they want to do really unique and stunning projects.
Yeah, they really try, and that's what I was kind of mentioning. They really try and find something that can be really exciting and fun. That's really like what we had talked about earlier today, was, you know, people just enjoying their home. It's their space, that they want to do something unique and don't mind spending the extra money to get something that they can be really excited about, instead of just, hey, let's just put a big addition on the back of our house or something. So.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges that our clients are facing when they're thinking about these projects?
Well, I think a lot of it is paralysis by analysis. I think that's their biggest challenge. You know, so many things they want to do, and they know that they all have to be done, and how do we take the next step forward? You know, there's so many different avenues, so many different builders, so many different. I think that's the biggest challenge that they have, you know, with the internet and all the things that you can use to get information and gather information. Is it accurate? Is it not accurate? That's the biggest challenge, I think, for homeowners. And, you know, sometimes that's where, you know, me mentioning the show is, you know, go down to a show and talk with people, see how, you know, just by talking with somebody can give you a really good sense of, you know, what you're going to get out of it. But I feel like that's the biggest challenge with people right now is so much information. It's paralysis. It's like, where do we go from here? And I think, starting with, good, reliable builders, maybe there isn't a correct fit, but it's a good way to get started.
Yeah.
It's talking with a good builder.
Yeah. As you're talking about that, I think about how I research things. And like if I'm going to buy something that I don't understand, I'll do a lot of research online, but you have to read a lot if you don't understand how it works to really get it in your head and understand what you're thinking about. And it's so much more convenient to go talk to somebody that knows their stuff. And they can just say, oh, you don't want to do that because of this. Here's the way you want to go. They talk about it. It makes sense. And you think, oh, my gosh, yes, I've done enough research that I know this guy knows what he's talking about, and I'm going to trust him. And that is so much easier. And remodeling can be very complicated. And I think people need to do their research and do their homework. But there's still going to be a lot of dots that aren't connected. And you really need, it's so helpful to talk to somebody that knows their stuff, that you can trust, like you said, Steve. And that's going to steer you in the right direction.
Yeah. And those dots in between, connecting all those dots, there's a lot of little dots in between those big dots. And you really have to have the people that can fill those in. You really do.
What do you think the top reasons people are remodeling are today?
I think the top reason that most people remodel today is to really enjoy where they spend their lives. They're starting to really like their homes. I think that's why a lot of people are doing a lot more remodeling, especially in Columbus. I mean, nationally, we're doing a lot of remodeling. Columbus is a great town. They're doing a lot of work downtown, so people are wanting to live closer to downtown, and there's just no more land available. And I think another thing is that, they're not building as many homes today as they used to. Home builders are still growing, but they're not growing as fast as they used to. And I think the homeowners are seeing that, well, I can just stay in my home because people are just updating their houses.
Yeah,
and
I think they're building apartments instead of homes.
yeah, they're like, let's build some more apartments.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of reasons why people may want to remodel their home instead of moving. And as you said, like some places, some of the highly desirable areas in town that with really good school districts, there's just not that much available for sale. And people don't want to move out of a school district. So one real viable option is just to upgrade their home and make it suit their needs.
That's right. I mean, I just finished doing my house for that same reason.
Yeah, and then there's aging in place, which we're seeing a lot more now. People want to stay in their homes as long as they can.
Yes, aging in place, universal design is something that's very, very prevalent now. And we're also designing our projects for people that are heading into staying in their homes longer.
Sure.
We're designing kitchens and bathrooms to be easily modified to fit somebody that needs to age in place. Like we're seeing a lot more zero entry showers, which look amazing and can fit the bill for long-term living in a home. So, and designed for like downstairs first floor bathrooms is, definitely on the rise. Homeowners trying to, where can I get a shower in here on the first floor so I don't have to walk upstairs or something like that.
Yeah.
Or my grandmother's going to be moving in with us. And
so there's a lot of adaptations that can be made to a home to make it more convenient for the elderly. And that's, like you say, we're seeing a lot more of that now.
And they are, I guess that would also bring us to one trend was definitely getting rid of the classic dining room. Gotten rid of more classic dining rooms than you can imagine. So use the space that you got.
That's right. And you can talk to our designers to help you stay on track with what other people are doing, because people find safety in that. And if they're saying, well, a lot of people are doing this, well, that's a comfort for them. Okay, Steve, we're going to take a quick break. After the break, I want to talk a little bit about design build versus general contractor. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. We're glad to have you listening. And I want you to know that you can go to YouTube or to DaveFoxRadio.com. And there you can watch a video of this show. So say hi to everybody, Steve. You can see Steve. You can see my office. This part of it's cleaned up pretty much. But we just really invite anyone that has listened to the show to go to DaveFoxRadio.com. There you can see the videos that we're recording, or you can listen to the podcast there. And I guess this is a podcast available on all the typical podcast networks. So there's a lot of ways to find us and listen to us or watch us.
We love having you listen to us.
Yeah. Okay, Steve. So we were talking last segment about really just some of the reasons people remodel and how it's been really just growing and growing, and people are investing more in their homes and taking more care about the place that they live and the place that their family lives, and making sure that it's nice and comfortable and is a good experience for the family as they grow. So there's a lot of different ways to go about remodeling, and I've been in this business long enough to, I think, see all of them and participated in most of them, because back years ago when I started in business, it was me and one other guy really to initially get started. I worked out of my home and had a pickup truck, and eventually that business grew, and that business was in Findlay, Ohio. So that was 73 through 88. And by the time I sold that business, I had like 13 employees, a design studio, a shop, kind of a mini Dave Fox. And then I was interested in, I've always been active in church and was interested in going to Bible college, so moved my family out to Portland, Oregon for 4 years, and then moved back to Columbus, my hometown, and then started working for Dave Fox back then. And lo and behold, became president of the company in 2004, and things just worked out that way. Interesting.
You've been growing ever
But I've
since.
been able to see, really the growth of a remodeling business from 2 people up to 62, which is, I think, what we have now. It's been quite a
62
ride.
people. Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot with that many.
So, and I guess that story leads into the fact that there's a lot of different methods of remodeling and the kind of contractor you might choose, and the route you may go. And so I want you to talk, Steve, from your perspective about the design build process, which is what we are, and how that compares with not only a general contractor or builder who may be large or small, or just a small outfit, which I have high regard for those guys. One guy and his 2 helpers in a pickup truck. Those guys work hard and can be very, very talented. So just from your perspective, what do you see as the differences between those?
Well, the biggest difference really is the part really starts out, the design element of it. I mean, the one factor is that when you think of your classic general contractor, if I said, hey, I need to put siding up on my house, well, and I'm replacing exactly what I have with new siding, the amount of design or the amount of knowledge to get product is very limited. You don't need a whole lot to get that work done. Because your general contractor is really there to put up and install the product that you so chose to put on your home. That's what they're there to do. As a design build company, we're helping the homeowner in a different way, with projects are like bathrooms, kitchens, additions, and things like that. There's the construction aspect of it, yes, but all the finishes that are available to you with so much information now, a homeowner to be told to go out and figure out what the right product is from the right person without any help is extremely difficult to do. And even doing it myself, if I knew nothing, it's when I'm looking for clothes, boy, I mean, my wife can do it in 5 seconds. For me, it's like, I have no idea which the best thing is, so I need somebody to help. I actually have to go down and ask my interior designers what would be the right thing to get for clothes. But that's the big difference is really between design, build, construction, and working with a general contractor. Now, and that's what I'm saying is if you were to know exactly the tub that you wanted and the sink and the faucet and every tile, and you were a good designer yourself, then maybe a general contractor is all you need. But there's few and far between that really people are like that. And even if you did know all the design aspects of it, you might not. Should I rewire this? Well, general contractor, it's up to you. I'm just going to do whatever you want. That's why if you have the meld of the two things, it can really keep a homeowner who says, I just want to get this done. Kind of like going into a restaurant and saying, hey, could you make me a meal? And they'll be like, sure, here's our list of things that we can have. And, I can show you which would be good and give you information about this would be a great steak and this would be good fish and everything. Or you walk in and have no waitress and no menu and say, and they just like, here's food.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea of working with two different aspects. So.
Yeah. And then there's the architectural route too. And I can remember a client that I was talking with months ago, and they were really wrestling over a design build firm versus an architect. And I knew that they put most of their faith in going the architect route. And I could tell they had a strong bent towards that. So it was an uphill battle for me to try to describe design build and why it might be better. And so I know that's a question that some people can really wrestle with because they're concerned about maybe the design professionalism that we could offer as opposed to an architect. Because you got an architect who's gone through all the schoolings, got the his stamp, and that means a lot. And we have a lot high regard for architects. We have one on our board of directors, and we use them when we need them for certain things, and certainly don't downplay at all the architect's role. In the residential realm, I don't think we would take a second seat to anybody in terms of design capabilities, because we also have a lot of trained designers, certified kitchen designers, certified remodelers who have been through specific training for the remodeling industry. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, working with architects and work with homeowners, I have great regard for architects and architecture. Love it myself and practice it myself. The biggest aspect that's not there, and which can be very confusing to the homeowners when somebody's designing for something for you, they're just bringing the design on paper, but not necessarily bringing the one thing that really does affect people is the cost. Is am I drawing something that's going to be remotely within this homeowner's budget? Is this going to be with what I know is going on in the construction industry right now? Is this going to be financially feasible? Where an architecture firm might not be up to speed with costs and figures to actually do drywall and framing and tile work and things like that to be as knowledgeable as a design build company.
Yeah.
Because we're constantly pricing it and designing at the same time. And it's tough. It is tough to keep up to speed with all those things. If I were to took 1 year off of estimating a project, I would be so behind trying to figure out exactly how much a project would cost. I mean, the fluctuations in costs and prices for jobs are, one bathroom designed a different way, and this design could be this $100,000 and this is $60,000. A big difference. And on paper it might be fine, but once you get into the nitty gritty and the fine details, well, this one can be a lot more expensive. So, and that's one thing I think is a big difference. The cost factor, that they can't really bring that to the table as well as the design build firm can. Yeah,
because we're really accountable to that cost and the budget that we talk about with the client. I mean, we can't design something that's not on target. We're kind of constrained to making sure that our design and our presentation meets their budget goals. Because we're not going to end up billing it if we don't do that. And they're not going to be happy with us. And
That's
we don't want
correct.
that to happen. Okay, so a lot to take into consideration, really when you're thinking about a general remodeler, a small guy and his couple helpers, or a design build firm, or going an architect route. It's a lot to think about. And so if anyone ever has questions for us, we'd love to be here and answer them. We're going to take a quick break, Steve. We'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show, and today I have Steve Dempsey with me. Steve's our sales director.
Hey, Gary.
And design consultant extraordinaire. I've done a lot of very large projects. Steve, we always give the really super complicated ones to you.
Yes, I know. I know.
But you do a great job with those. And as you mentioned, as sales director, you can have a chance to really help to lead the rest of the team there and help them with all of your experience in the areas that they need help.
I love doing it.
Yeah. So we got a good camaraderie here. We got 8 designers altogether.
Now.
Design consultants. And it's interesting because our sales environment, I'd say, is not competitive between one another. I mean, you guys work together. They got great camaraderie. You share ideas. You want each other to be successful, and you celebrate when another one has a good sale. And I think that's a great culture to have. And that way you guys can collaborate on projects, and you can gain from the knowledge of all the other people, and vice versa. They can gain from your knowledge. just think makes a great working relationship.
Yeah, that's what they love the most is all the design consultants here all brings a little something to the table, from the window industry, the plumbing industry, kitchen and bath industry. They all bring something to the table, electric industry. And these things, they're learning from the others about these other things, and they also bring to the table so much knowledge that can always help us improve.
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice to have, design consultants with a really strong knowledge of one aspect, electrical or HVAC or plumbing or something like that.
Great. Okay, so we were talking a lot in the last segment about the different ways people can go to remodel and the different type of contractor they may want to hire or architect. So let's say they're heading down the design build process. Now let's talk a little bit about what is that process.
Well, the design build process is really, if you're interested in doing the design build process, you really need to have, a few people come out to your home. You really need to come out to their home or meet somebody at a show and talk to them about their process, how we go from point A to point B. How do we start designing the process? Is there a retainer involved? Is there any costs up front? And so you can balance some of that out. And our process and very similar process, you'll have somebody come out to your home. There's probably going to be some type of fee or retainer that's going to be required to move forward into designing and pricing out your home. And I always want to emphasize that is that everyone thinks it's really kind of just design. It's not just design. It's design, pricing, estimating, value engineering, the organizational pricing of different projects and the values of different tiles and finishes on any project. There's a lot of work involved with that. And then once you do that, then you move into the parts of deciding to move forward into construction. And it's a small amount of money to pay to feel comfortable about the decision you're going to make that could be, a significant investment on whatever level you feel that is. And I always tell homeowners that it's always worth, they get frustrated with what's first, a chicken or egg, or I was like, the best thing you can do, whether it's with our company or another company, is go through a design process, figure out what you can do with a reputable builder that can give you an honest price and go from there. Everything else will really, having a bunch of people out to just tell you it might be this or it might be that, it's really not going to be clear, because until you go through the whole design process and have a design on paper that you really like and a price that honestly tells you what it's going to be, you really haven't really done the design build experience yet. The construction part, just from I usually don't worry about that. The crews just do an amazing job with that. So it's mostly the front end, which is really the really good part to make the construction easier, because all the people that have designed the project and estimated the project and everyone's involved is also there to help with the construction. Answer questions, products and finishes, not having to call somebody out from another company or service. Not to say that doesn't happen, but if you had to do that for everything and every product and everything, it would just take forever and to be lost in translation in that. So.
Yeah. So you mentioned a retainer, and some of our listeners may or may not be fully aware of how that all works, but that's something we've done for years and years. And I think now most, significant remodelers do that, because I'll remember Dave Fox, when he was here, one thing he said to me, which made a lot of sense, this is probably 20 years ago, is he said, Gary, we could be doing 10 estimates for free, hoping to get one, or we could sell a retainer and know that client's really serious and we're going to give them 100% of our time and attention and make sure they get a great design. And that just made a lot of sense to me.
Oh, it does.
And that's kind of what we do, is we want people to have some skin in the game, because we know they're serious, and then we're going to put all of our effort, which is a lot. Not only the design consultant, but also one of our interior designers will team up with them and work through that design process. And through that, we're going to meet with the client 1, 2, 3 times, show them drawings, show them budgets, get their feedback, and make sure that project is designed just specifically for them, and it meets their needs and it meets their budget.
Yeah, retainer is a good part about the industry, is that it's exactly right. As I get to work with clients that are serious, because when I go out and there's no cost for me to come out to a homeowner's home and talk to them about their project before they do a retainer. But if I were to go out to every single client that I meet with, I may meet with 3 or 4 clients a week, sometimes more. I would have so many projects I'd have to work on. It would almost be impossible to even reasonably get a fair design, let alone pricing back to anyone in a reasonable amount of time, and keep their excitement.
Yeah.
So there's only so many hours in a day for an individual, and the individuals that really know this industry can really do it well. You really just have to give them your time, and doing the retainers does mean everything. I like to think about like a lawyer. I don't think a lawyer is going to go into court with you for free just for the fun of it. I think of the same thing. I have lots of analogies for the whole retainer system, but I have people out to come and look at my house, give me quotes for painting, and there's no cost for that. It's relatively simple. But when you're talking about a kitchen or a bathroom where there's lots of moving parts and pieces, it's not something I can just write down, and that all depends on the design.
Yeah. And really, when you're talking about a complicated project, we start with like initial target budgets, which is really important. That's important to everyone to know about where their budget will be, but we can't really nail it down until we go through some drawings, show them some products, and that client comes in and looks at the products. We kind of coach them where the budget's going. If they make changes, is that going to raise the budget or lower the budget? So it's really kind of working hand in hand with that homeowner to respect their budget and to meet that, and also to make sure they're getting exactly what they understand and what they want, and that's going to solve the needs of their home.
Right.
So it's the fun process. I mean, we love our work. We love meeting a lot of different people and visiting their homes and seeing their needs. And we've been doing that for a lot of years. And then, of course, we help them with the selections with our interior design team, which I think we have 8 interior designers, or 7 or 8. So it's a big process, but we love it all. And as I mentioned a while ago, we've grown so rapidly. This past year was a sales record for us, and Columbus has been great to us. And so great that we're outgrowing our building that we've only been in for 4 years, which is happening a lot quicker than we ever imagined.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so now we're kind of struggling on what do we do next. So if anybody's got the perfect building for us out there, give us a call. We want to come
shoot us an email.
Yeah. But we really appreciate all of our listeners. You've been loyal to us for a long time. Many of you, we like hearing your comments and feedback. I know if we're out at any trade shows, we always hear from people that have listened to the show, and we appreciate hearing that. Or even pumping gas to the station, all people come up, hey, I listen to your radio show. Yeah, that's fantastic. So last week I was speaking with Jamie. We were talking about the remodeling show that's going on. Today is the last day for that. So that's at the convention center. So again, we appreciate everyone tuning in. You can email us at info@davefox.com if you ever want to reach out to us. Thanks for listening. We will be back here next Sunday morning at 8.
Thanks.